Hello princesses! Today I'm going to be talking about the Peripera Sugar Jelly Colour Palette from the ASMR collection. So with the ASMR, it's a Peripera's sense of memorable relaxation, which I don't think is what ASMR really means to everybody else, but cute nonetheless. I decided to pick these up because I didn't know what the jelly shadows were. I was very intrigued and I thought that the packaging was really cute. It's kind of annoying though, it's got like a really sticky plastic outer. It's really bizarre, but they do have like little floating confetti. It's really cute, don't get me wrong, but yeah. So there are 4 colours in the collection and I thought that they all looked pretty good. I thought I could make a nice cohesive eye look with that. I'm actually wearing them today. I'm wearing 2 of the colours, the lighter brown and the shimmer. So that is a kind of preview of what they look like. But really I just bought it because it looked cute and the packaging looked cute. Why do I buy anything? Pretty much the packaging. So the product description says, satisfy your ASMR needs with Peripera's colour palette formulated with soft and lightweight jelly-like texture. Mix and match the 4 shades for charming and everyday easy eye makeup. So like I said before, the packaging of this product is really pretty. I really like the light lavender border and the glitter on the top is just absolutely adorable for me. It is laid out like a basic quad and you have 4 different colours in the collection. There are 3 mattes and 1 shimmer and they all have that same very soft jelly texture. Now this is a very bizarre texture to have to explain. It kind of looks like a regular shadow but almost like a cream shadow, but when you use them and blend them or swatch them, they feel like powder. So I could press my finger in and you could see like a little dip from where my finger has been. But then if I put it on the back of my hand it feels pretty much like a powder would, which is very strange. This is the first time I've used jelly type shadows, so if I am not doing it right, please let me know nicely in the comments. However, I have tried my fingers, wet brushes and dry brushes and they all have the same sort of results. I can get a little bit more pigmentation if I use my fingers, obviously because I'm probably picking up more product than I am using a brush, but then I still need to use a brush to kind of like share it out and make sure that everything blends well, so I lose a lot of pigmentation in that process too. But anyway, let me show you the colours and pretty much the one look I can achieve with them. So I'm going to start with the light beige colour, and I find that these work best applied with my fingers because they are that soft jelly texture. However, at the moment I am a little bit on struggle street because my nails are too long to really do much other than pat things into the centre. I honestly do not understand how so many beauty gurus have like long fingernails and still manage to do anything with their lives, because like I'm struggling, and I grew these myself, so it's not like they just appeared on the top of my hand. I'm gonna have to use a brush to get into the inner corner of this eye because otherwise I'm just not gonna have eyeshadow on it. Don't get me wrong, the brushes do work, but it just takes a lot longer, so you really have to press and blend really gently. It's kind of a weird mix between a powder and a cream product. So this is the lightest colour on my eyelid. I pretty much cannot see it. It's like just a little bit more peach than my own skin tone is, like you can pretty much see that. But it is kind of nice as a base to conceal any redness just before putting other products on, so it does have that use for me. Then I'm going to show you this light brown colour. I'm just going to go in with the brush rather than my finger just to show you how long it takes. So this is the light brown on my lid, which is super light. Again, it is fairly pale in the palette there, but I feel like I can barely see it on my eyes, even with the exposure probably turned a little bit further down. Yeah, I still can't really see it. So now I'll show you the darkest brown in the palette. So that is the dark brown. It's not quite as dark as it looks in the palette, but even if I use my fingers, I still can't get very much more colour payoff. And it is a little bit difficult to blend. So that is the darkest brown in the palette there. And then the last colour, of course, is this sparkly pink down the bottom. So that is the sparkly pink there. It's not my absolute favourite because it is, of course, like a pinky purple colour. It's not awful, it's just not my favourite. I feel like the camera angle is really difficult, but that's okay. So that is the pinky purple there, and then I'm going to show you some footage of some looks that I've created throughout the week with this. I don't know if I'm getting it more than one look, but we will see. So this is like the one look that I can do with the Peripera palette because the colours are so sheer. A lot of the other times it doesn't really work out. So I used the lighter colour all over my lid, and then I used the lighter brown in the crease. Then I used the darker brown in the outer half and the sparkle in the centre of the lid. The shadows have a really interesting effect. They're almost like watercolours. They can blend well enough, but just be careful when you're picking it up, especially with a blending brush, because it does pick up a lot because of the texture. It is like a jelly, so it kind of clings to the brush, and when you put it down, it'll place it down quite thickly, so you do need to blend it up from there, but generally I find them okay to work with. The crease blending is not the best, but I think it is okay. Overall, I think that this look is really cute. It's very like a nice everyday one. I kind of wish that the pink glitter wasn't like the purpley pink there, because it's a bit much for everyday for me, but that's just my personal preference. So this is today's look with the shadow. Excuse my little mascara marks. Don't know what's happening there, probably the foundation. This is what it looks like. I've used the lighter brown all over the lid, and then the glitter on the centre, and then on the lower lid the same sort of thing. So the lighter brown here, and then the glitter just in that inner corner. And this is pretty much what it looks like up close. I feel like when I get up close you can see even less than you could see from far away. So overall, I'm not actually a huge fan of these jelly colour palettes. I just think that it's too hard to use, basically. When I did this eye makeup look today, I only used two colours. So like I just said, I used the lighter brown shade, this one, all over my lid and up into the crease. And then I used the little glitter on the very centre. I had to do about 4 layers of that lighter brown colour to get this pigmentation level. 4 layers! It took me 4 times longer than it should have to get this, which I would still consider to be a very light application. So these would be specifically really great for beginners who are afraid of using too much pigmentation, or are afraid that the shadows are just going to make them look too extreme or too out there. I kind of feel like these are like the watercolours of the eyeshadow world. They are easy to use in that sense. I feel like you probably wouldn't mess it up very easily unless you packed on like 10 layers of the product maybe. Even the dark brown, really easy to use in that sense, because you really have to go in hard and pack it on to actually get that dark brown colour, which is kind of a shame, because if you actually wanted to use these for the colours that they're presenting, then you're not going to have a good time. I didn't have a good time with them. They are okay to blend. Like I said, it's a little bit difficult because you need to really pack on the product to get a good amount of colour, and then when you blend it out, they tend to blend out a little bit too easily in a sense, because the colour disappears straight into your skin and you need to go back in with more. Same with putting the pigment down with a brush. If you pick up the jelly product with your brush, you're going to end up with like a little chunk of it right on the tip, and then when you place that, it's going to stick to it because it's a jelly texture. So they're not the easiest to use in that sense, but I feel like there's just a little bit of a learning curve, and then you should be able to use it easily. So for me personally, I feel like this is not the palette for me. I do appreciate that it can give you a beautiful blended watercolour look, but I could do the same thing with a lot of my other shadows if I just use a lighter hand. These ones, it's almost impossible to build them up to the colour that is actually shown there. You would use a lot of product doing it, and you'd waste a lot of time and patience. So for me, even though I like the colours, I really like that little pink as well. I think that that actually looks really nice. I was surprised that I liked it because traditionally I don't like purple pinks. Pinks with purple shimmer, not my thing, but I did actually like it. I thought it was a nice mix between the two colours. The pink wasn't too light and the purple wasn't too bright and whatever. I can see how this would be a good product for someone who is wanting very, very light eyeshadow. However, that's not really kind of mentioned in the product description. Like, that's not something that they're selling for this product. It does mention that it has a soft and lightweight jelly-like texture, but that's the texture, not the colour payoff. If you are wanting something that is super, super lightweight and just beautiful like watercolour textures, I would totally recommend this. I did find that it creased on my eyelids pretty badly, so I would use a primer with it. But yeah, it's kind of a difficult one. Like I can see the good points about this. I can see it in a positive light, but also it's totally not for me. So I'm kind of, yeah. If you like lighter watercolor like shadow shades, then this is definitely one I would recommend for you. However, if you are used to eyeshadows that have got a ton of pigment and are super bright, this is totally the complete opposite of what you would like to use. So thank you guys so much for watching this review, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!